Okay, folks. So at the time of recording this tutorial, which is in April of 2021, um, I have been told by the folks at ActiveCampaign that their PayPal integration that is native in ActiveCampaign is currently broken. It is not working. They don't currently have an ETA as far as when it's going to be fixed. I guess whatever it was that was going on is deep rooted enough that they literally are going back to the drawing board and starting over. So in the meantime, I know many people are looking to be able to connect their PayPal account with their ActiveCampaign so that specific purchases can tag a contact or create and tag or update and tag a contact in a specific way so that then it will kick off an email automation flow. So this actually came up just this week for a client of mine. And so after discovering that the PayPal integration was not going to be a solution, I came in here to Zapier to create the Zap, and I'm going to be sharing this with her, and I thought I would just share it with all of you as well because it's a very commonly needed Zap. The one thing to note is that because it's PayPal, and we've talked about this before, PayPal is a premium app within Zapier. It's premium actually within any integrator. I have yet to find an integrator that will not charge you if you're trying to link any sort of payment source app. So if you're aware of one that does in any way, please, please, please tell me about that in the comments because I would love to know about it. One of the things that I am very big about at the Tech Savvy Academy is helping people keep their overhead down. There are a ton of amazing free tools and platforms out there to help especially newer entrepreneurs to still have some level of streamlined process for their customers, for themselves, to have that extra layer of professionalism, but without breaking the bank, right? Because we all know that the more subscriptions you have to buy, the more things you have to pay for your business, the longer it takes to bring in any actual income, any profit. And, you know, it's frustrating as a business owner to feel like it's going to take so long to feel actually successful, right? And that's our goal here, right? Is to be successful and to feel successful. So bit of a tangent there on that, but point being, this will be a Premium Zap, which means that you will not be able to turn it on in a free account. You can set it up and practice with it like I'm going to show you right now, but you won't be able to turn it on and use it unless you do a free trial of one of their paid plans. It does look like their lowest paid plan is viable for this. You get up to, I think they said 3 premium zaps or 3 premium apps, maybe. I'd have to double check that when you're on that first plan. So you don't have to go to a super high price point, but still, it is a subscription. It is a monthly thing. So it's something to be aware of. I believe at this moment, it is either $29.99 a month if you pay monthly or $19.99 a month if you pay annually. So as I have probably mentioned in other videos or certainly will in the future, if you're able to do annual, it's always going to be better. You save a ton of money that way. I would, however, caution you, especially as a new business owner, but really across the board, because we all get sucked into these things. I wouldn't jump into any annual contract with any new platform or tool until you've been given the ability to trial and test it out for free. Because a lot of these companies are have very strict policies about being able to refund or cancel your and get your money back for an annual subscription. So don't jump into an annual for anything that you can't trial for free, okay? Because you're going to end up finding something that doesn't do what you actually wanted it to do. Okay, so all that being said, let's jump into how you actually create this Zap. So looking back, let's go back one step and actually start from the beginning. So you would want to start with make a Zap. So if you're logged into a Zapier account, you're going to click make a Zap, or you could have clicked that create a Zap button as well. And that's how you're going to come into the very beginning of this. And we're going to start with PayPal. Now, I'm sure this would work for very similarly to other payment apps. So I would assume Stripe, Square, probably all going to have a similar thing going on here. But as you can see, they're very clear with you up front. This is a premium app. So anytime you see that, no matter what Zap you're creating, even if it's super simple, it's going to come with a price tag. Okay, so what we're doing here, we're going to choose a trigger event. And we're going to go ahead and go with successful sale. One thing I am not, oh, okay, here we go. That's the difference here, is that this one will do it with line item support, and this one does it for any successful payment. So I'm going to say, let's go ahead and just make sure that we use the more granular, the more specific option, because you never know what aspects of the feature are not going to be automatically showing up here. So let's just go a little bit deeper just from the get, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and start with that as our trigger event. And if you've never created an integration before, excuse me, we are gonna be working with trigger events and action events. We're gonna be talking about two different platforms. In Zapier, they call them apps, but essentially it's one of your business platforms and another business platform. So in this case, we're talking payment to email marketing. It could also be booking, like scheduling appointments with you and email marketing, or scheduling an appointment with you and payment. I mean, there's a lot of options here, but this is what we're working with today. So we're going to go ahead and continue. Now, this webhook part, so I have already done this. What you're going to need to do is in your business PayPal account, they have a webhook URL. So you're going to need to go, this one's mine, but you're going to need to go into your PayPal account. You can also just Google, I will try to include a link in the comments, or in the description for this video as far as how you find that in PayPal. That's not part of this tutorial, but you will need that. So go ahead and hit continue. And we're going to just go ahead and test our trigger real quick. Okay, so it went ahead and found just it created like a little test one, right? So all of this is test information, but it's going to do that and populate that for me so that we can test it, even though we don't have any specific purchases or things in this test account that we're using. Okay, so that's great. So we see that's working. They found some information. Let's go ahead and hit continue. And then now we need to select the other app. So in this case, the email marketing app or platform that we're using. And in this case, it's ActiveCampaign. We already said that at the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and hit ActiveCampaign. We're going to choose an event. And so we want to create/update contact. So if somebody purchases something for you and they've never interacted with you before, they're not on your email list, this Zap will create their contact and add in the tagging that we're going to talk about in a second. If they have already been on your email list, it's going to compare the email they use in PayPal and the email they've used in your ActiveCampaign. If they find the same person, it will simply add the tag and add the list that we're doing rather than create a whole new contact. Now, if somebody uses a different email address than the one they have previously used to subscribe for you, then you will have a duplicate there. So just be aware of that. You always want to keep an eye on your email subscriber list, because if you have duplicates there, it would behoove you as well as your customer for you to merge the contacts so that they're not getting duplicate emails in any way, and that you're not inevitably paying for duplicate contacts. Okay, so if you don't already know it, email marketing will always be on some level charging you based on your number of subscribers. So anytime you can merge it, it's better for everyone. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit create and update contact. and hit continue. Then we're going to come in here and find our account. Mine happens to already be tied here, so I'm just going to go ahead and click it. But you would, when you clicked that button, if you had not already linked your account, it would have brought up a place for you to enter your login credentials for ActiveCampaign. We'll go ahead and click that, and then we're going to click continue. Now we're going to set up the action. Now you can see here, the only thing that's actually required here is their email address. And we mentioned a minute ago, the email address is how this Zap is going to look and see if this person already exists in your system. So it's incredibly important that you map this field. It's also important to recognize that this setup action is, you want to think of it from the perspective of if it's creating a new contact. So if the contact already exists in your system, obviously their first name will already be there. Their last name will already be there. This information is already existing. It will not cause a problem. It will just update it with whatever the new information is. But if you think of it from the perspective of a new contact, if you don't map some of these more basic fields, then you won't get that information on that contact in ActiveCampaign. Okay, so that's why it's important to treat this mapping as though you're always creating a new contact. So let's go ahead and choose a list. So for this purpose, I'm just going to go ahead with the Tech Savvy Academy. This is coming from one of my lists that we're doing. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead with email address, and you're going to see here they give you a bunch of different options as far as where you can pull the data from. Usually has the trigger app first, and then sometimes they'll throw in the action app as well. In this case, they did not, which is fine because we don't want that. We want the trigger app anyway. So we're going to go ahead and select pay your email. And see, it's already showing us this test information that it pulled in when it tested our trigger. Okay, so you get to see what it's going to look like when it comes through. So same thing here. Let's go ahead and choose first name. Oops, I'm sorry. I thought I clicked into the next one. So we're going to just do email address. Then we click here and go with first name. Go into the next mapped field and choose last name. And so really you can do this for phone number, for all of that if you want to. Depends what you need to have on your contacts. We're definitely though going with the tags because this is one of the purposes behind why we're creating this app is to add a tag to a contact that will then be the trigger for the email automation that's supposed to happen. So you can actually just type directly into this field. Like if I wanted to create a brand new tag that doesn't already exist in ActiveCampaign, I could do that right here. So I could just type in here right now, Tech Savvy Academy, and that's the tag that would be created in ActiveCampaign and added to all of these people. However, I want to make this a more evergreen type Zap, evergreen integration. So if you've never watched any of my videos, you may not know what the term evergreen means or what I mean in this context. So let me just explain that real quick. Essentially, evergreen means something that is going to continue to work over time. It's not time-based. It's not season-based. It's going to be able to work in multiple situations. So in this case, if we hard code in a specific tag, then this is only going to work for one type of purchase, which is, I mean, doable, but ideally it would be something that would be usable for any purchase they make in PayPal, right? So let's make this an evergreen tag. And so the way we're going to do that is rather than hard coding in a specific tag, we're going to come in here into the PayPal data and we're going to go ahead and grab the item names. And see, you might have seen a minute ago, or you might remember a minute ago when we were deciding on our trigger action, what we wanted it to be. We had the option of a successful sale or a successful sale that included line items. Remember that? So that's why we're going to go ahead and go with the one that includes line items. That's because we want it to be able to auto create the tag based on what they've purchased. Okay. Let's go ahead and select that one. And then there's not really anything else here on this list right now that we need to worry about. So we'll just go ahead and hit continue. and we're going to test. We're always going to test. Even if you feel like you're totally sure that this is going to work, test it anyway, because you just never know what's going on behind the scenes. So let's go ahead and have it do the test, and we'll have it show us, review for us the results of that test. Okay. And you can see right here, a contact was sent to ActiveCampaign just now, or now it's about 10 seconds ago. So we now know this was successful. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in here into the view our ActiveCampaign list so that we can see this new contact that was created. See right here, this is test account at Zapier. Remember, we saw that a minute ago. So let's go ahead and click into our test account. This is the new contact that was just created. You can see our first name, last name. You can see the test account at zapier.com. You can see test item number 1. So this would be, for example, Tech Savvy Academy 101, right? It would not say test item. It would say whatever the item was actually named in PayPal. And test item number 2. So it has separated them into separate tags based off of their purchases. So this might potentially kick off more than one email automation for someone, but that's great because that's exactly what we would want it to do. Okay. You can also see it's added them directly to this Tech Savvy Academy list. And it has also sent them, added them to the email flow that is triggered by somebody joining this list. Okay. And you can see that right here, subscribe to the list, entered automation. And in a minute or two, it will actually send out the email flow. And in this case, it will bounce because their email address here is not real. It's just test. So it will bounce back, which is fine. If it was a real email address, it would not bounce. Okay. So I hope that is helpful for all of you. If you have any questions or you try this out and it doesn't quite work for you, or you need a little extra assistance, please comment below in the comments here on YouTube, or if you happen to be watching this on my blog, you can also comment below there as well. And I will come back and see if I can troubleshoot that with you. I hope that you are all having a wonderful day and that you are finding so much success and efficiency and freedom in your business. If you're not finding that efficiency and freedom in your business yet, I think we should talk. So definitely make sure that you check in the description below. I will throw a couple of links in there for ways that you can connect with me, and we can work together and I can help you get started with all that. If you like this kind of content, if you appreciate this type of tutorial, I would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and make sure that you also click that little notification bell so that every time I post a new tutorial, you will get notified about it and see what fun new things you can learn. Have a wonderful day.